I want everybody to live a beautiful life that they want for themselves. I don't wish ill on anybody. But can I do? I can't stand the delusion. Now we all got to sit here and we got to be like, oh yeah, this is great. You know, this is somebody who could get 95% of guys, and imagine going through life with that sense of delusion. Like we see it, and this is an extreme example, but when women walk around like that, imagine walking around thinking, I could get 95% of guys. How many guys are you telling no to because you think you're better than them? Are you, or is it in your head? Just think about it. If you don't want to wind up alone, you have to have a realistic assessment of what you bring to the table, of your looks, of your capabilities, of what you're willing to do in a relationship, of your character, all of it. Men always just want virgins that haven't had to anyone and really good girls. It's like you want younger women as well, so it's like that whole predator vibe. Women are often delusional in their expectations and self-perception. Many believe they deserve the top tier of men, often rejecting numerous potential partners along the way. This mindset leads to an inflated sense of self-worth, which can result in loneliness if not addressed with a dose of realism. A realistic self-assessment is crucial for finding a fulfilling relationship. Men, on the other hand, have simpler and often stigmatized preferences. They desire virgins, younger women, and those with fewer past partners. This preference is not about control or dominance, but stems from an evolutionary perspective. However, society demonizes these preferences, labeling them as toxic or misogynistic, while female preferences for taller, wealthier men are celebrated. This double standard highlights the societal biases against male preferences. Men are not choosing to wreck their own homes and make women single parents. That's a choice that women are making. Why? Because their husbands are trash, treating them bad. This is the typical narrative perpetuated by society, that when a woman chooses to break her home, it's always the man's fault. Men need to realize that for most women, they're crazy. She's not yours, it's just your turn. Women initiate divorce 80% of the time. You can't turn hoes like her into housewives. Countless men, just like the guy in the video, have felt the gut-wrenching pain of discovering the woman they love has cheated on them. These women cheat, breaking hearts and shattering trust without a second thought. It's astounding how easily some can toss aside loyalty and commitment like yesterday's trash. The modern dating scene is a minefield of disillusionment and broken trust. Men are often on the receiving end of betrayal, leading to movements like MGTOW men going their own way, where men choose to avoid long-term relationships and marriage due to the perceived risks. Women, on the other hand, face their own challenges. Many are disillusioned with dating apps and the superficiality they bring. Physical appearance often becomes the primary criterion for judgment, leading to a lack of genuine connection. Meeting people in person is preferred, but societal changes have made this increasingly difficult. The rise of digital communication has altered the dynamics of human interaction, making traditional ways of meeting and forming relationships less common. In this digital age, dating apps have become the primary way for people to meet potential partners. However, these platforms have their drawbacks. They encourage a superficial evaluation of potential partners based solely on appearance, which can lead to missed connections with individuals who may not be photogenic but have wonderful personalities. The swipe culture promotes instant gratification and a lack of depth in relationships. Many people, especially women, feel disheartened by the lack of meaningful connections they find through these apps. They yearn for the organic, serendipitous encounters of the past where sparks could fly naturally. Modern men have to work 5 times harder than their grandfathers did for women who are 20 times worse than their grandmothers were. This concept, known as hypergamy inflation, reflects the increasing demands placed on men in the dating market. Today's men face higher expectations and greater competition, yet the quality of potential partners has declined. This phenomenon creates a sense of frustration and disillusionment among men, who feel they must constantly strive to meet unrealistic standards. As women age, they become hyper-aware of their diminishing youth and fertility. This awareness often leads to panic, especially for those who are still searching for a partner in their late 30s and 40s. The competition with younger, more fertile women becomes daunting, and the pressure to find a suitable partner intensifies. This panic is a natural response to the biological clock, but it also underscores the societal pressures placed on women to maintain their youth and attractiveness. In cities like New York, the dating scene presents its own unique challenges. Despite the vibrant social life, many women find that men are reluctant to approach them. Instead of engaging in conversation, men often resort to staring, creating an uncomfortable and unproductive atmosphere. This reluctance to approach stems from various factors, including fear of rejection and changing social norms that discourage traditional courtship behaviors. As a result, many women feel isolated and frustrated in their attempts to find meaningful connections. Loneliness during pregnancy is another issue that many women face. The emotional and physical changes of pregnancy can be overwhelming, and the lack of support from a partner exacerbates these feelings. Women who find themselves in this situation often feel abandoned and vulnerable, struggling to cope with the demands of impending motherhood without the necessary emotional support. The experience of ending a promising relationship can be heartbreaking. Even when a man possesses many of the qualities a woman is looking for, the lack of a deeper connection can be a deal breaker. This highlights the importance of emotional compatibility in relationships. While practical considerations like shared values and goals are crucial, the absence of an emotional bond can render even the most promising partnership unsustainable. Modern women often have high expectations for their partners. They desire men who are tall, financially successful, and emotionally available. However, these expectations can sometimes be unrealistic. The 666 requirement, 6 feet tall, six-figure income, and six-pack abs places an immense burden on men and narrows the pool of potential partners. This pursuit of an idealized partner can lead to dissatisfaction and loneliness, as many women find that their standards are difficult to meet. The societal pressures on men to be providers are deeply ingrained. Historically, men were expected to take care of their families financially. This expectation persists, even as gender roles evolve. Men are still judged by their ability to provide, and women often seek partners who can offer financial stability. However, this focus on financial provision overlooks other valuable contributions men can make, such as emotional support, guidance, and companionship. The emphasis on money reduces the complexity of relationships to mere transactions, undermining the potential for deeper, more meaningful connections. The advent of online platforms has given rise to new forms of exploitation. Women who engage in online adult entertainment often find themselves in compromising situations. The story of a stepdad subscribing to his stepdaughter's adult content is a disturbing example of how technology can facilitate inappropriate and harmful behavior. This incident highlights the potential dangers of online platforms and the need for stricter regulations to protect individuals from exploitation and abuse. The ideal of men taking care of women has been romanticized for centuries. However, modern society often views this notion with skepticism. Feminism and gender equality movements have challenged traditional gender roles, advocating for women's independence and self-sufficiency. While these movements have made significant strides in promoting gender equality, they have also created confusion about the roles men and women should play in relationships. Men who express a desire to take care of women are sometimes seen as patronizing or controlling, rather than caring and protective. This shift in perception reflects the broader changes in societal values and the ongoing struggle to balance tradition with modernity. Men prefer women with fewer past partners, as it aligns with their desire for exclusivity and loyalty. This preference is often misunderstood and criticized as being possessive or controlling. However, it is rooted in evolutionary biology and the need for assurance and paternity. Men are hardwired to seek out partners who are likely to be faithful, ensuring that their resources are invested in their own offspring. This preference is not about controlling women, but about seeking security and stability in relationships. The modern dating landscape is fraught with challenges for both men and women. Women face the pressure of maintaining their youth and attractiveness while competing with younger women. Men, on the other hand, must navigate a world where their traditional roles are being redefined, often leaving them feeling confused and undervalued. The rise of digital communication has further complicated the dating scene, making genuine connections harder to find. Ultimately, the key to overcoming these challenges lies in open communication and realistic expectations. Both men and women need to be honest about their desires and limitations. By fostering mutual understanding and respect, it is possible to build meaningful, lasting relationships that transcend the superficial standards imposed by society. In conclusion, the disillusionment in modern relationships stems from unrealistic expectations, societal pressures, and the challenges of digital communication. Both men and women need to reassess their priorities and focus on building genuine connections. By doing so, they can find the happiness and fulfillment they seek in their personal lives. The path to a beautiful life lies in embracing realism, mutual respect, and the timeless values of loyalty and commitment.